Easy, guys. This is going to be a short one. I like to call these Tom Cruise lives, just a short one. And just going to show you again just how coded the NBA is and how our whole reality is coded. So hello, Asa, 11/11, only me. My life started 9/11 here. I'll tell you why in a moment. So 11/11, much love, brother. 11 times 11 gets you 121. Revelation in Gematria is 121. So he's Antichrist, interestingly. But 11/11, beautiful, beautiful, my friend. So I'm going to break a few games down for you. Again, not to get you on my website. It's completely up to you. Show you how coded it all is, particularly with timeouts, with what I found, with scores, timeouts, that there's no way that it's being rehearsed before the game. Think about in the NBA, I would say the average team's playing, 4 games a week. To script this the way that it plays out is not being done in practice, guys, whatsoever. Hey, Illusion, thanks for the live. My pleasure, Dustin. My pleasure. Well, 4 in the live, 4 likes. Your boy Hank Aaron, more number 44, when he played in the MLB. I've coded him so many times. That's why I had the Atlanta Braves to win that World Series, and I called it bang on. Connected to Hank Aaron, who played for Milwaukee and Atlanta. And obviously, it was the Braves, and they knocked out Milwaukee Brewers on the way to winning it. So I'll just break this down for you quickly. I'll start off with Boston. I did something today on my website, which I rarely do. I wanted to prove a point. So I like Boston Celtics to win, but they were minus 400. So I said, pick what you want here. Boston minus 400 or take the spread of the Pelicans. All right? Because anytime you get a pick wrong with a big favorite, people feel like that gives them ammunition to attack you. So if I like a team now at that odds, I'll say, okay, you can take this or you can take the spread. Anytime that you're offering a spread, it's because you don't think they're going to win. Or you think there's a slight chance they might win, but you're going to go with the spread over the money line of the other team, of the big favorite. So I showed them how difficult it is to do what I do as consistently as I do it. And the Celtics won by, let me check. I know they won comfortably. I think they won by 13. Let me have a look. Just to show you how this is all being done. Again, I love the Nuggets to win today, but they were like minus 1,000. So people don't care. They don't care about the code unless there's value. So 125. Oh, okay. All right. This is really good, actually. Yeah, Pelicans. Wait, this is crazy. I've just realized something. Give me a second. Yeah, I did it. I didn't even realize this. So Boston won, and I said you can either take Boston to win money line or Pelicans plus 12. And I've just seen Boston won by 11. So both of the picks hit. They won by 11. So if you would have took the plus 12 or Boston money line, they both won. And then my favorite code was the Bucks to beat the Hawks, which they did. And I'm going to tell you something that was ridiculous about that game. Denver are great at home, especially this year. I've got a lot of friends from Denver because I lived in Colorado. One of my mates today told me he's going to actually arrive on the, this is crazy, he said the 21st, which is 121 for 11 times 11. Die-hard Packers fans for whatever reason. Which is strange that they don't support the Broncos. But we know there's fanboys all around the world that just support the big teams. So, yeah, I've just noticed that Pelicans lost by 11. I said there's plus 12 on them. They were plus 10, minus 110. And I always say, don't take that. Don't ever take what they offer you. If it's plus 10, take plus 12 or plus 13. The value is still very good. So yeah, thankfully both of them hit. I didn't realize that. I just knew Boston won. But I'm going to break down what I put here and show you why it's not as easy as people think this is. I'll read it out to you. My codes are to show you we live in a coded reality and to teach you, and winning money is a bonus, not the other way around. Again, if you win more than $10 a month from my picks, which you should do with my hit rate and how I've taught you to bet in play, you're getting a free ride from my website. And if you don't gamble, you can still learn from my codes. Now I said, what do you prefer? Celtics minus 400 money line or Pelicans plus 12 at minus 110? And I said, big faves don't always win, as seen yesterday in the Warriors game. So the Warriors were minus 700 yesterday to beat the Suns, and they got beat like pretty badly. So big favorites don't always win. And then I said, you decide from this code which you prefer. And I said this, Celtics. So here's how I can teach you. Here, I'll teach you, even if you don't win money, I'll teach you. Celtics always sync up to Pope Francis, but that, of course, does not always benefit them. But there's a reason why Celtics lost 4-2 to Warriors, because 42 connects to the Vatican. Remember, I told you the Warriors would win 6 months before they did, and I said it would be 4-2. So there's a Catholic order known as Celtic Franciscans. Celtic Franciscans, guys. All right, it's a Catholic order. Both teams played the 42nd game of the season here. 42. I think the number I talk about more than any. And rightfully so, because the beast reigns for 42 months. Vatican City was founded on the 42nd day of 1929. That's the year the Great Recession began. It's lasted 10 years and ended 1939, which was the beginning of World War II. I'll tell you why the Bucks game was 1939 after the first quarter in a moment. So the Basilica was struck on the 42nd day of 2013, right before Francis became the Pope. Celtics can become 30-12 with a win. That's 3-1-2. Jorge Maria Bergoglio, the full name of Francis, is 3-1-2. Of course, which gets you your 6, is heavily connected to that number. They can become 17-5 at home. Pope Francis equals 175. His Gematria is very important. All right, again, his name's Jorge Mario Bergoglio. Why do they call him Pope Francis? The game's on 111. Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 111. The game is on the 11th day of the year. Pope equals 11. You'll see again how the number 11 synced up with the Bucks winning today. Pelicans stay on 25 wins, 25 days after the Pope's birthday. Pope equals 25. So I saw all of that. I thought, okay, Boston are going to win this. But then I thought, geez, if Boston don't win this, all they're going to say is, he's picked a big favorite and it missed. What's the point in even posting this? So I thought, all right, I'll give him some New Orleans code. All right. Plus 12. Pelicans can become 9-11 on the road with a win. You can't ride off the 9-11 because today is 9 years and 11 months exact since lightning struck Basilica. Pope Francis was installed as Pope 3-1-3-13. A span of 9 years and 11 months exact before Super Bowl 56. All right, 57. Francis was born 351st day of the year, 26 try. Pelicans can get 26 win span of 26 days after the Pope's birthday. So there's a few other stuff for them. So then I said, what do you think? You know what I mean? Giving people the responsibility. They could have just left the game. One guy said, to be honest, this is so double-coded. I'm not going to touch it. I went, mate, every game's double-coded. And I have to code the winner pretty much every day. But I wanted to show them how complex this is. And then there's other codes that I do, which are very simple. And I see something that stands out so much, I don't need a lot. Now check this out and tell me we don't live in a coded reality. Tell me we don't live in a coded reality. So the Bucks just beat the Hawks and they made it a real sweat until the last minute and a half. You won't believe what happened in this game. The Bucks were destroying the Hawks, practically the whole game, destroying them. They were up by 20 after the first quarter. They were offering an 80% payout, which kind of said they'd won. But I also said, if you've gone big on the books, I would cover yourself on the Hawks at plus 700. If you've gone big, that's what I used to always do. And I was literally, I call it cigar smoking. If somehow the Hawks come back, which I've seen happen in the past, teams being cooled in the first half and coming back, you're laughing now. And with 2.5 minutes left, the Hawks were winning by a point. After being murdered for 80% of the game, they were leading 103, 101 with a few minutes left. I'm like, really? But then they took a timeout on 103. And I said to my mate, who'd just been around, much love, Andy, had a great time with him. I said, 103 is the 27th prime. The Bucks can get the 27th win. They've just taken a timeout. I was like, okay, that's probably a good sign. And then Hawks forgot how to play again, and the Bucks became Superman. Giannis, who's so connected to Revelation, he's got 7 points. This is the best player in the league, arguably. He got 7 points. And it's not like he played a couple of minutes either. He played the majority of the game. So it's crazy how this is all being done. I said this in the code. Usually this game connects to Hank Aaron, who played for Atlanta and Milwaukee, and he died on 1-2-2. I know Hank's numbers inside out when I coded Atlanta Braves to win the World Series recently. Satanic equals 1-2-2. Kobe's 666 game was on 1-2-2. Today's game is 11 days before the upcoming anniversary of Hank Aaron death anniversary. The Bucks can get their 11th road win, and the Hawks can stay on 11 home wins on the 11th day of the year. Bucks can go 11-9 away with a win, and the Hawks can go 11-9 at home with a loss. Exactly 190 months after Basilica was struck by lightning. Guys, 190 months is exactly 9 years and 11 months. The Church of Satan was founded 119 date numerology. 4 plus 30 plus 19 plus 66, 119. They have connections with 11 and 9 because they have the 11 satanic rules. The 11 satanic rules of the earth that they have. And they also have the connection that they have with the 9 satanic statements. They have the 11 satanic rules of the earth and the 9 satanic statements, and they were founded on 119 date numerology pure. I just recently told you that Walt Disney died in 1966, the year the Church of Satan was founded. He died 10 days after his birthday. Hitler died exactly 21 years before the Church of Satan was founded, and he died 10 days after his birthday. Satan gets you 10. So we're saying 7 points but 18 rebounds. Can't believe the sheep can't see through that. I know. 18 rebounds, 7 points. So do you know how many people would have taken Giannis points? He probably averages what, 30? And he gets 7? I was saying to my mate Andy as well, I was like, how are these fans not seeing that the Bucks, one of the best teams in the league, are destroying the Hawks, which is fine. Hawks are a decent enough team, but it's not a shock when a big popular team like the Bucks comes to town and beats you. To then blow a massive lead. And it's not like a player got injured and this, that, or the other. They don't question how a team goes from not being able to play basketball to becoming world beaters. And then they suddenly forget how to play again. It happens so often, especially towards the end of games. You know what I mean? Towards the end of games, right in the last couple of minutes. They just forget how to play. It don't matter what the sport is. So I said all those 11s, huge 11s. Milwaukee Bucks went up 11-0. I screenshotted it. 11-0. When did they take the timeout? With 10:22 on the clock. Like 1-2-2. So my whole code was basically about 11 and 122 and 11 and 9. Bucks won by 9 points to get their 9th road win and give the Hawks their 9th home loss. They took an 11-0 lead. Your 11s and your 9s. This is what I do. Atlanta's in Georgia, yeah? Read my code about the Georgia Bulldogs. I said they would blow out TCU. When was Georgia Bulldogs founded? 119 years ago. And then they took this big lead and took a timeout with 1:19 on the clock in the first half. So they're not planning these timeouts to be so perfect. They're not telling Giannis at the beginning, you're getting 7 points, 18 rebounds. It can't be done. It can't be done at the level that it's being done for them all to be rehearsing it, guys. It can't be. It can't be. We're living in a coded reality. I've told you the Bucks, after the first quarter, it was 1939. I've been raving on about World War III, which I will do my video very soon and my code on my website. It could be a book in itself, what I have. And then they do this. Every time I talk about something in the live, and I've coded a few games, I usually do 1 or 2 games a day. Whatever I talk about in the live appears in the games. It just seems to work like that with me because I'm synced to the code. Balls and rims also have magnets, correct? Correct, but what they're going to try and do now is convince you that that is what's determining these outcomes, technology. So they're softly disclosing truths that they've hidden from us. It's what they do. The last thing they want is for you guys to believe that it's biblical. They'll let you believe it's technology, that it's man, that it's orders, that it's the Jesuits, that it's the Illuminati. They'll let you believe that it's just corruption, that it's Vegas. They want you to believe that. They'll allow you to believe that. Once the majority wake up to see that man's not coding it, yes, the sports are corrupt because the system's corrupt. But when they accept this is supernatural, this is somewhat biblical, and you only understand it's biblical when you've read the Bible and the book of Revelation. You don't understand it. So again, I try and teach you the important numbers like in my World Cup book. I keep selling more and more every day. I thought maybe the first week, the people who like my work are going to buy it. I don't know if people are spreading the word about the book or because I bring it up quite often. 324 books sold now. A lot of people who dedicate their life to writing books have never sold that amount of books. It's true. Most authors, they're lucky to sell 100 books. They're lucky to sell books to people other than their family and friends. And I've done 324 now in what? When did I release it? 12/29. So what, 13 days ago on Pele's death. I released my book when Pele died. Right after I released my book, it got announced Pele died. I'm connected to the code. Pele is the only player to ever win 3 World Cups. The day I released my World Cup book, right after it, he dies. Like 201st prime date, France, Argentina, both 201 in the group stages at the World Cup. Messi stayed in room 201. Crazy how I'm connected to the code. And told you today I did a disclaimer. I told everyone what I provide for $10. And I don't want you coming to my website just for sports picks. But again, if that's why you're there, I can't stop you. But I did a disclaimer. You want to come to my website for the knowledge and you will win money if you gamble, but it will limit you, I think, if that's your number one priority. You won't go to the next level like I did when I quit gambling. What is the book and where do you sell it? I would love to support. I really appreciate that. It's very simple with the book. My friend Andy again today said, you've got to go on Amazon. This book needs to be read by thousands. He said, all you have to do is take out the images so they can't do you for copyright because all the work's your own. Basically, all you do, you PayPal me $7 and you'll see in the book why I only charge $7 for it. It's 461 pages, the 89th prime. The Queen died 89. And 89 is the 24th prime, like France have won 2 out of 4 World Cup finals. You send $7 to this if you have PayPal. If you don't have PayPal, there's not much you can do. But nearly everyone has PayPal. You send $7 there. I send you the book out. I send you a nice message. You read it. You'll love the book. And you'll learn a ton, mate. You'll learn a ton. If you're wanting to code, you will learn a ton. There's so much in that book to teach you how to begin and what numbers to look out for. If you only care about football and you're only interested in the World Cup and the history of the World Cup, you'll learn more about the World Cup than you ever knew in your entire life from reading it. And if you're just intrigued, how are these games coded? How's this being done? What's the pattern that they're using? The book will show you. It does. I'm so confident in that book, and I've not had one bit of negative feedback from the book, not one, which is wild. Wild. So yeah, if you could support it, I'd really appreciate that. Any of that money is going to fly into England, but that depends if a war kicks off. Can't believe I'm even having to think about that, but I just go day by day, you know what I mean? My goal is to get to England in April and get my flight paid for, which pretty much already have, I think, unless the prices go up. It's an ebook, yeah, it's a PDF, and it's well presented, 461 pages. A lot of people have printed it off. They have a printed copy because it's very easy to do. You go to Office Max, or if you have a printer in your house, just get an ink cartridge, print it off. I definitely think it'd be better if you printed it in color. And what you can do, like, basically put it in a binder. You can have it, just sit down, read it. You can read it on your phone. You can on your laptop. The book I'm really, really excited about for me. And again, I don't claim necessarily to be an author. This is not something I wanted to do. It's organically happened. The thing that got this all started for me on my journey was the book, The Illusion, which is 95% done. I was working on it again today. That's the book where you're going to get to know who I am and how I see the world and how this system is corrupt. There's very little Gematria in that book. Yeah, 1229 is the 201st prime. Don't they schedule the games like 10 years in advance? I always wondered before finding Illusion why it took so long to schedule games. Again, remember they're called fixtures because these outcomes, they're fixed. They're predetermined by a code. We just don't necessarily know who's behind it. God, the devil, supercomputer, angels, demons, whatever it may be. But these outcomes, it's almost like from the very beginning of these leagues, it's already been set up. There might already be an end date on when they finish. So there's no way they're flipping scripts at all. They're not. I don't know how it's being done, but it's all planned in advance. There's certain fixtures you go, they've clearly planned that, but I don't even, when we say they as well, we've got to be careful with they. They, who's they? So like Celtic and Rangers will be playing on the same day as Liverpool and Everton, on the same day as Real Madrid and Barcelona. And they try to tell you that these fixtures are just random. They're not. The timing of these games, even as I say, like in England, the main game on Sunday is played at 4:30 in England. The Church of Satan was founded 4:30. Okay, we know the Catholics love Sunday. They've destroyed the Sabbath. So it's wild. 25 in the live, 11 likes, 25 11s when Maradona died. Remember, Messi came into the World Cup final having played 25 World Cup games with 11 goals, matching Maradona's death date. Thank you so much, will do. No, thank you. Thank you for sitting down and listening to me. Again, my friend Andy just said he thinks I'm in the 1% when it comes to knowledge and the way I see the world, that I'm in the 1%. I think I am. And I think the majority of the 1% use that knowledge or gifts they have to keep them there and basically hide sacred information. I'm not in the top 1% financially, nowhere near it, wouldn't want to be. But when it comes to the gift I have for seeing this world and coding it, I don't know if there's more than 1% doing it daily, to be honest. And I'm being deadly serious. 123-point losses in 3 games. Really? I didn't know that. But remember, I recently did a video about 1922, why Denver would drop the Lakers to 1922. Well, the Hawks are 1922 now. Seems to be big. 1922 is when the BBC were founded on 1018, which is Luke 1018. And if you go on my website, what was the score at one point? Atlanta Hawks 10, Milwaukee Bucks 18. It was 1018, guys. I've just told you the BBC were founded 1922 on 1018. The Hawks just became 1922. And at one point, the score was 1018. I have to be having something divine within me. Not saying I'm special or I'm above anybody, but to be able to do this, I owe it all to God. And that seems to upset people when I say that. But I owe it all to God, because I don't know how I'm doing this in every sport, and according everything, like telling you Hitler and Walt Disney, all the syncs between them. So just so you know, guys, today, Chuck led me to this. Today is 9 years, 11 months exactly since lightning struck Basilica. 9 years, 11 months is 119 months. Today, guys, the date numerology is 55, 10, and 35. Satan gets you 55, 10, and 35. The Ukraine war began on the 55th day of the year. All right. 322 days ago. 322 days. We know that's connected to Skull and Bones. 322. Well, 322 days is 10 months and 18 days. And the Hawks just dropped to 11 and 9 at home, and the Bucks became 11 and 9 away. And 9 years and 11 months is exactly 119 months. It wouldn't have shocked me if this game was 11-9 at one point. So you're the best at this. I will say this, Dustin. I don't care about being the best. I don't know if I'm the best. I just know daily I reveal so much. Sports-wise, I'm so accurate. And I'm not talking about necessarily just my hit rate. I'm talking about the code in the game. Code in the game, like where it's going, all the numbers, they're there. They appear with timeouts, with the score. The best way of knowing where a game's going is if your numbers sync up with the score during the timeout. So yesterday, one of the few picks I've got wrong, I think I've got 3 wrong out of 21 in January. I had an average code, average at best, for Golden State to beat Phoenix. And it was a very lazy code, to be honest with you. It took me a few minutes. I just thought, they're going to win this. That's enough for me. I'll post it. Look at this, guys. 26 in the live, 13 likes. Messi, 26 World Cup games, 13 goals. The Bucks were leading 26-13 in this game as well, up by 13. So anyway, so I did it. It looked good enough. Wasn't amazing. Like my Panthers code was perfect against the Avs plus money. That was like a phenomenal code if you read it. You've seen it. I did a video, I think, about it. The Warriors got beat by the Suns, who I'm guessing got thumped today. I had them to lose, but they were, I think they were like, the other team were minus 1,000 or something, so I didn't bother. I don't know what score it was. Surely they didn't win back-to-back big underdogs. It rarely happens with the same team. And I did this code for the Warriors, and they got beat by the Suns, like, and they were minus 700. So I got a pick wrong there. That was my second pick, or was it my third pick wrong? Yeah, like I said, 21 right or something, 3 wrong. And the amount of nonsense that I got in the comments. So on the One pick I got wrong, once in a blue moon, 134 comments. The perfect code for the NHL. Perfect. In play, after, pre-game, 24 comments. And it made me realize where the world is. So there was more energy given to a pick that missed and not the perfect code. And when it comes to betting in play, I was out yesterday all day with Kenya. I didn't even know what was going on in the Warriors and Suns game because I don't go on my phone when I'm out with friends. So Gabriel, who's amazing, unbelievable, the guy who did the website with me, I had a little chat with him today because he did something that he thought was helping, but it didn't. And he said, yeah, you're right, I won't do that again. So if I do a phenomenal code, I just want to disclaim this to people now, and I make it clear that I really like it. If I say I really like this team, I love this team. If I do a phenomenal code for a favorite or a big favorite like the Warriors, and all the numbers are hitting, but they're down, and they're down by about 12, I always say go in. Take them now, go in. If they're down by 20 plus points and my numbers are not hitting in play, they've lost the game. Let it go. You didn't take them minus 700. You'd be silly to do that. Let it go. Maybe you took them when they were down 8 and they lost by however many points. Was it 13 or something? But did my numbers play out? Were my numbers showing? If they wasn't, then they're probably done. If I'm leaving a post saying, hey guys, all the numbers are playing out now would be a good time to get on them, then probably get on them because I'm usually right. So I want to tell you, if a big favorite goes down significantly and the numbers are not playing out the way my code shows, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. If they're down 20 points at the half, it's about 90% chance they've lost. If they're plus 500 at half when they were minus 700 at the beginning, they're pretty much lost. Okay? So don't always think in your head that, yes, illusion's code. The team's getting battered, but he's always right. I'm going to go hard on them now at plus 600, which is basically a future. And then you lose. Listen to what I'm saying. It's so many things you've got to factor in. So many things. So the only reason I knew what was going on in that NHL game, which was perfect, was it was on TV at the bar I was at, which I've only been to twice. First time I went to it was to watch the 2018 World Cup final, France-Croatia, only because I got invited. And that's when I watched football. I was wrapped up in it all, 2018. And then the game, I came in, it was 3-1. I was like, okay, all right. Minute later, 4-1. I'm like, okay, all right. Didn't even know what was going on. My phone was dead. So I went checking the NBA scores, and it just had the hockey game. And then in the space of 5 minutes, it was 4-all. Nearly choked on my Nanang Harder. So just understand, guys, that if you want to get to my level of coding and understanding how to bet in play, you have to be elite. You can't just throw money down and think, all right, now's the time I'm going to get on them. So Gabriel, who's incredible, whilst I wasn't on my website or had access to the internet, was trying to be nice, saying, right, now we get on the Warriors. The minus 106. Now we go in again. They're plus 130. Now they're plus 200. Now they're plus 400. Now we can go and get... No. Unless you know what's going on like I do with the code and you see exactly how the numbers are playing out like I do, that's not how it works. Sometimes you don't get in-play opportunities. You just don't. Sometimes the big favorite goes out and batters them. And you never get an opportunity to bet and play. You go, Still doesn't take away the incredible code that I'm showing you, that the universe that we're living in is coded. That is, to be aware of that and to have someone like me teach you that is life-changing. You can say money is life-changing, but to what extent? When you're living off minimum wage, most people in the world. How much is it really changing your life? Win a few bits. The knowledge can change your life. Can it? So again, on my website, come for the knowledge and the wisdom and the community, and then for the money. Not for the money and then the rest of it be a bonus or be irrelevant. I don't want that. My friend Andy said, you're going to just keep growing. You're just going to keep going. And I've said this, and I think I'm going to stick to it. I think I'm going to limit, and Gabriel's not going to like this. I love Gabriel more than anything. Panthers code was tremendous. Thank you so much. It connects to the Black Panthers as well, which connects to Jackie Robinson and Kobe. And the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. It's just so outrageous how it's all coded. Like I said, Gabriel might not like this because he really motivates me to grow and grow and grow and grow and get bigger. I'm at a point where I think if I get to 500 members, I'm going to stop people signing up. I'm going to limit it. I don't want 1,000 members or 2,000 members. The amount of emails I have to deal with now and the comments and the love and the hate, it's next to not. It's 95% positive, and then a few people that just really want to tell the world that I'm some sort of Satanist, whatever they want to say. So let them do that. They can go about that. But I'm at a point where I think I might limit it. I have an amazing family on that community now. I'm not being all emotional, but I do. Really great balance of people. Different views, different levels of knowledge, men, women, old, young, whatever it may be. I don't want it to get out of control where there's thousands of people there. I don't want that. And I don't need 1,000 people paying me $10. I don't need that amount of money. So I'm close to limiting it to like 500. And if I start losing people, I'll go on Twitter and say, right, guys, it's 20 new opportunities to sign up. Keep the money at $10 because I ain't going to get greedy. I'm close to being like that. Can get overwhelming, guys. I wake up to hundreds of emails a day now. And when you send out an email, you don't think about how many other people are doing it to me. So it sounds silly because I don't think you guys are my fans in any capacity. I don't want you to be my fan. But I was speaking again to Andy, my best friend, who was here earlier. I said, have you seen the Eminem video, Stan? He was like, yeah, that's super fan. I was like, yeah. I said, the thing that sent him over the edge was Eminem ignoring his letter. So obviously Stan is writing all these letters to Eminem. Hit me back just to chat. Sincerely yours, your biggest fan. This is Stan. So Stan in his own head is obviously obsessed with Eminem. And he thinks that almost like he's the only person writing to Eminem. So Eminem's getting thousands, and I'm nowhere near that. But Eminem's getting thousands of fan mail per day. He obviously can't respond to it all. And then this super fan starts hating Eminem, blaming Eminem for everything, and then basically kills his pregnant wife and drives her off a cliff. So I sent Andy, I was like, there's these like 2 or 3 people coming at me, just saying I'm gonna call you out, I'm gonna destroy you, and like threatening me. And a part of me wants to laugh. On the other half, it's like I want to also respond to them, but not to have a go at them and make them feel like inferior to me. So there's a guy called Shillbuster. His name's Shillbuster. And he's bombarding me with emails calling me a satanic transgender. And just typing everything into that calculator. My email address, saying it gets you this, the illusion, the shillusion, Adam E. all sorts of stuff. So I responded with a really nice message to this person because I'm getting better at that. All I said is, he sent like a book to me. I said, no offense, but you have no idea who I am. If you believe everything that you say about me is true, then avoid my content. Cheers. And then he said, I know exactly who you are, Adam Edders. Again, nobody in the world, as far as I'm aware, this light's doing my head in, has ever called me Adam Edders. My name's Adam Edwards. Nobody's ever called me Adam Edders. So he's like, I know exactly who you are, Adam Edders. So Edders is my nickname because my last name's Edwards. I got that nickname Edders when I was in middle school. Still don't know why. And then my younger brother, they would call him Mini Cheddars, which was funny. Well, it's not that funny, but yeah, they call him Mini Cheddars. So he's saying Adam Edders, like I'm on to you, and he's told me the gematria of it. Then he's typed in the gematria of the word gematria. So he's typed Adam Edders equals 7438,444. I don't know what the 444 cipher is. Then gematria equals 7438,444. Again, nobody in my entire life has ever called me Adam Edders. So I'm like, okay, where's he going with this? You pretend to follow Christ. No substance to this. But your code says the exact opposite. You're a coded shill. This is what I'm dealing with now. I'm becoming popular. You're a coded shill. I'm not getting angry by this. I'm just letting you know what I have to deal with. No different than all the other devil puppets out there. I'm a real follower of Christ and real child of God, not like your fraudulent illusion-coded character. Again, it's the illusion. My name's not illusion. It's the. So if you're going to do the gematria of the illusion, please put the. I see right through your bad acting. You get called out and respond like a submissive clown. Boo-hoo-woo. Just so your subs feel bad for you and don't catch on to your scheme. Don't know what my scheme is. Nearly all my sports picks hit. I lead people to God. What's my scheme? I call out Satan. I'm trying to figure out what my scheme is. You are a puppet on Satan's strings. Bending over for him every time you take money from people for gambling purposes. I don't gamble. I don't promote gambling. I would recommend you stay away from gambling. But I do code sports, and I've told you why. Your words say one thing, but everything else about you says another. Hey, genius, you pretend to teach about gematria. I barely talk about gematria. If anything, I'm one of the few people in this community who doesn't rave on about gematria. Much love, Gabriel. How you doing, brother? I rarely rave on about gematria. I'm one of the few people now in the community that's saying that calculator, it serves a purpose, but that's basically gematria. Typing in words into a calculator, giving you a specific number. And there's 36 ciphers. So I'm the one who, guys, let me turn this light off. It's infuriating me. I'm not raving on about gematria. I'm fully aware gematria is Jewish mysticism. They say if you predict the future, then you're playing around with Satanism. I don't think so. People tell me I perform witchcraft with my codes. I don't believe so. So what else has he got? So, hey, genius, you pretend to teach gematria. The same practice that exposes every single angle of your made-up character. And then he put A Edders 11 equals 144 and 54, right? Even though it's A Edders 11 at gmail.com. They didn't put that in. And A Edders 11 was an email from, I don't know, 12 years ago when I didn't know what gematria was until 2020, 2021. So it's put in A Edders 11. not at gmail.com, just aedas11. He's told me the Gematria value of that. And then the illusion has told me that as well. Did you forget what order those numbers are tied to? It's talking about 144 and 54. It doesn't know how beautifully biblical those numbers are. You're a straight up fool to think people wouldn't catch on. To what? I've known for a while, but didn't call you out until your false teachings about the Antichrist while selling sports picks all day. Christ is coming to judge bad sellouts like yourself. You choose the wrong side, Adam Edders, capital letters, which nobody calls me. By the way, I don't need your live chat to expose you as the fraud you are. There's a whole community out there that ain't you and Zach. Again, bringing Zach up. Hasn't been hard so far. Many already see through your facade. Have fun becoming the next exposed Zach Hubbard illusion. So this is interesting. I'll tell you, recently I've been sent emails over the last 2 days, and I'm not blaming this guy at all. And I've told you I've not said a bad word about him. Ever since I had a little disagreement with Joseph, the devout Christian, I've had people email me, calling me out to not be a true Christian. And did you see the comment he made about the Antichrist? My whole disagreement with him was I don't believe Obama's the Antichrist. And now a few days after that disagreement, I'm getting bombarded with messages that I'm not a true Christian, that I'm going to be exposed. So, yeah. And this guy actually became a member on my website. He paid $10. Cheers, mate. That'll get me an omelette. So, what I'm learning is Gematria's kindergarten level knowledge. Somewhat. I think anyone can type something into a calculator. Understanding what the numbers mean is different. Do you know what I mean? If there's a word that is the matching 4 ciphers as another word and they connect, there's something deep to that. It serves its purpose, the calculator. But again, taking half of somebody's email address to get the numbers that you want, or making up a name, Adam Edders, which I don't have in any like social media, any email, never been called it, to type that in, that's what lets the community down. The greatest thing you can do with this knowledge to help wake people up is date durations that they can't argue with. To be consistent with your predictions that I do every day, which slowly wakes people up. To connect it all to the Bible and biblical verses, which they can't deny. So this is just the type of stuff I have to deal with. I didn't even have to give him a response, did I? Back in the day, I would have aggressively responded to that. Didn't this time. And what I said to him, just as a joke, I said, Shillbuster. On a side note, Shillbuster equals 145, 46, and 71. Catholic equals 145, 46, and 71. The current Pope is a blatant Satanist. Does that mean that you are a Satanist and you work for the Catholic Church because your name's 3 out of 4 ciphers? I'm not a Catholic. Your Gematria says you are. You're calling me a shill because of my Gematria. You have 3 out of 4 ciphers, not 2 that you're giving me, 3 out of 4 that match up with Catholic. I show every day Catholicism, Satanism. Show you with Francis every day. I show you with the Vatican. That's what I do. But he screamed, I'm not a Catholic. Well, I'm not a shill. So, yeah. Really, really interesting stuff. Numbers sometimes only connect a team and playing on a day doesn't mean they will win. Yeah. Yeah. It's complex. It's complex to code the universe, ladies and gentlemen. Coding the universe is not something that comes easy. And I've told you, I don't just code sports, do I? Seems like a lot of people are excited for my code about World War III. You know what's going to happen if there's World War III and the US are involved? You know what's going to happen? It was obvious. It's all I'm going to get. It's fine. I'm good with that. It's obvious. What about all the planes today? What's going on there? Potential cyber attacks, which I've been raving on about. Cyber attacks. So I actually shared a video today called The Dark World of Mega Churches. And it was an unbelievable watch. So there are 100% frauds in this world, especially when it comes to speaking the word of Jesus. They're out there. These evangelists who are making millions of dollars a year, that have their own jets, that live in mansions, who are profiting from speaking the word of God. Again, I've got my unique journey. I'm not here every day raving on about God and preaching every day about God. I incorporate God into my codes. I believe in God. But I'm not standing in the front of 2,000 people in a church telling them that they could become one of the 144,000 sealed that is going to join Jesus Christ in heaven if they follow this, this, and this. I have the gift of the gab to do that and motivate. I would never do that. I would never use God to profit financially. My spirit's way above money. But there's people doing it. And that's the problem. They are these Satanists exposing good people. So they come across someone like me. They think this guy must have an ulterior motive because he's making money from the truth. And shouldn't the truth be free? No, the truth shall set you free. Nowhere in the Bible it says the truth should be free. How I see it, again, I work between 8 and 10 hours a day doing this. It's a full-time job. And I work 7 days a week. Energy, currency, money. Money is currency. I give you my energy. I give you my knowledge. I can change your life. I've changed many lives. I'm not getting rich from it. I'm not buying fancy cars, limousine riding, jet flying, Rolex wearing. None of that. But I ain't going to do it all for free. How would I be able to pay my bills and stuff? And, well, if you're a true believer in Jesus, you wouldn't care about money. No, I'm very aware we live in a satanic beast system where you need money to operate, but I'm not consumed by it. But I know I need X amount of money. And if I get more than what I need, so be it. But I don't go striving for more than what I need. If I get it, I get it. The universe is giving me back what I guess I deserve somewhat. But I ain't striving for it. Gabriel knows me more than anyone when it comes to that. And you will see if I do put a restriction on how many people can sign up, what are people going to say then? You're in it for the money. Why do I have a restriction at 500 then? Why is there a waiting list for people to go on my website then if I'm all in it for money? So it's somewhat good. When people attack you, you have to think of a new strategy. That guy coming at me for no reason, now I have a website disclaimer. Thank you, mate. People know what they're paying up for. It's all there. Nothing they can say at me at this point with that disclaimer. You've read it. And then it's up to you if you want to stay there. And again, when it comes to this whole stuff about money, I don't make anybody stay there. What is it, Gabriel? Is it about 85% of people who sign up stay there? Pretty much, if you sign up, you stay there with me. I ain't making people stay with me. You could say you're saying this, this, and this to draw people in, although I don't do it by design. I speak the truth. My hit rate is what it is. I have changed people's lives. I'm not lying. It's true what comes out of my mouth. You could say, all right, you're saying this, you're influencing people, you're attracting people to your website because you talk about sports so often and how many perfect codes you do. All right, I can see your argument there. Am I making them stay the following month and the month after that and the month after that? Why would they stay if my service is not having a positive impact on them? Why would they stay with me? Would you go back to a restaurant over and over and over again if the food and service was bad? Or would you move on to something else? You'd move on. If people sign up to me and stay there, which is practically everyone who signs up, and if they do leave, they come back, because I've checked the historical patterns of it. I don't know if they left because they didn't have enough money that month, or they became disillusioned with it, or they lost one pick, or it was consuming them. Different reasons. They always seem to come back. So there's no money being stole. I ain't stealing anyone's money. Am I? I don't get it. And I'm not false advertising. I come live every day, show you what I've coded. And it's all there on my website before I talk about it. How can anyone who can see Satan everywhere not also see God? That's a great point. I believed in Satan before I believed God existed. I think a lot of people have said that they did the same thing. I saw how sick the world was. I thought there has to be something deeply satanic about this world. It has to be Satan. Researched Satan. Then I researched God and all of that. People, you'd be amazed at how many people believe in Satan and not God. Yeah, I believe the devil. I believe in the devil. But what about God? No, not God. But you believe in the devil? Yeah, the devil. Yeah, for sure. It's interesting how they're so open to believing in the devil and somewhat being comfortable with that, but they won't believe in God, and they feel really uncomfortable at the thought of believing in God. Very powerful is God. All right? We cannot follow God physically, only spiritually. You ain't going to follow God physically. And truth is only there for those humble enough to seek it. What do I mean by humble? Accepting that you've been lied to your whole life, pretty much, and you've been manipulated, and you've been brought up in a satanic system, and you've been fooled and greatly deceived. Only when you accept all of those things are you going to become humble enough to seek genuine truth. When you accept that you've lived a lie. If you never accept that you've lived a lie and you're living a lie, you'll be too stubborn, selfish, egotistical to seek truth, which is God. So, again, where God's greatest creation, God cast Lucifer out of heaven like a lightning bolt where he became Satan. Satan hates God, therefore he hates us. It's very simple. All right. Bill Gates, who I write about a lot in my book, which nobody's read other than me. Nobody. Because it's the book that changed my life. The World Cup book was incredible. Didn't change my life. It was just me showing my immense knowledge. The Illusion book changed my life. If I didn't start writing that book, I wouldn't be doing this. I'm almost certain. So Bill Gates, he has openly said he wants to block the sun, which makes sense as Jesus is the Son of God, and Satanists like Bill Gates want to block him from us. It's legit. Bill Gates, the gates of hell. Anthony Fauci, I've told you about Faust, which connects to Satan. I call him Anthony Fausti. And again, if Jesus Christ doesn't exist, why is this satanic system working so hard every day to dismiss him, hide him, and ridicule him? Why? Why? Why do they constantly ridicule and dismiss Christ? Why are they taking Bibles out of schools? Why did they shut all the churches down during COVID? I will be discussing in a live stream very soon about what is going to go on with the Satanic Temple, who are organizing the largest satanic gathering in history in Boston. All right? It's the Satan Con. Like Comic Con, it's Satan Con. This is a real thing. I'll do a live about it. It's from the 28th of April to the 30th. What was founded April the 30th? The Church of Satan. I've told people that there's a Church of Satan. You're a liar. You're a conspiracy theorist. No, mate, there's a Church of Satan in San Francisco, founded by Anton LaVey, 1966, April the 30th, 36 years after he was born, 666, the 36th try. 6 times 6 is 36. The book of Revelation is the 66th and final book of the Bible. There is a Church of Satan, and there is going to be a Satan Con, where Satanists are going to meet up in Boston, and they have to be vaccinated and be wearing masks. It shows you who's behind coronavirus. It was Satan. And it's also connected to God. Remember, God controls Satan. Corona means crown. Jesus, the King of Kings. The corona connects to the Son. Jesus, the Son of God. And people like Bill Gates, they desperately want to be God. They hate God and they want to be God. Bill Gates wants to be God. He wants to, that's why this God complex that people have wants to chip you up and all of that, control you. Told you money, they get the money, they get the fame, they get the wealth. Once you've gathered all of that, you're always craving more. It's like a druggie. You want your next fix. All right, you might go from cigarettes to weed to coke to ecstasy to heroin to LSD. You're just wanting that next big fix. So you get addicted to it. People like Bill Gates want to be God. And they know they never will be. And people like Gates sold his soul to the devil, to Faust. So Faust can give you Microsoft, even though you didn't actually come up with it. He can give you that. He can give you fame, fortune, best-selling books, influence, all of that. But it's not yours. It's an illusion. Bill Gates didn't earn anything. Came from a satanic family. His dad was the lawyer for the Rockefellers. His dad actually bought Starbucks. All right, that's why I'll stay away from Starbucks. Basically, it looks like Lucifer, the logo. Although I have a Starbucks cup because my ex-wife gave me it because she collects them. And she went, just take some of these. I've got too many. I was like, I'm not going to drink out of it. Just take it. And I have drunk out of it. I haven't drunk out of it for a long time. But it's so deep as this. Christ is still on the throne and that has never changed. I agree. That guy is someone who doesn't want you to use your gift of discernment to advance to the kingdom of Christ. Yeah, thank you. I think you've just described it perfectly. Verdict, your cancellation rate is extremely low. Thank you. I know some people cancel. It's fine. It is part and parcel of it when you're a content creator. And like I said, everyone who goes in your restaurant, don't matter how many good reviews you have, there'll be a few people that go there and go, that wasn't great. I don't really want to go back there. And there'll be other people that love it. The favorite restaurant. So I've got to be aware of that. So, yeah, there's definitely people that want me to be silenced. Patreon did. YouTube limit me. And then a lot of people just make up lies, but it just makes them look silly when they lie about me because I'm so comfortable in who I am. You can do as much research as you want about me. Good luck finding anything. I'm a genuine guy who's had a wonderful life, who cares about people, who's extremely intelligent, who knows how to talk and keep people engaged. So they can find whatever they want. They can say I'm not a true believer in Christ. They can say I'm stealing a living. They can tell me that I'm leading people to gambling. They can say whatever they want about me. They need to focus on themselves because they're lost. they're lost if they want to come at me. It don't make any sense with what I do and what I've shown and how I present my work and how I don't promote gambling. I just don't. And I think I've said 1,000 times now, if I wanted to promote gambling, I'd have thousands of people on my website. Gabriel knows that. You guys know that. If I really wanted to promote myself and my picks, I'd have thousands there. I'd be tweeting every day. Guys, click on this link. Check out my website. Perfect 3 for 3 again today. Perfect 2 for 2. Look at this. I don't do that because long term, that's not going to work. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. I want people to sign up for the truth, for knowledge. I want them there for that reason where I don't have to worry, oh, are they going to leave me because the Pelicans lost or the Chicago Cubs lost? Are they going to? No, they're not going to care. They're not there for that. We're living in a world now where hardly anyone sees what's going on. To be part of a community that does see that, led by me, is worth every single cent. So, yeah, his mummy worked for IBM, Gabriel, yep. His daddy ran Planned Parenthood, yeah, which Bill Gates then promoted as well. This whole thing, again, guys, about Planned Parenthood, it's playing God. Telling people how many kids they can have. That's playing God. These man-made laws that they come up with is playing God. Telling people to get that and restricting you from basically participating in society and putting us in lockdown is playing God. That wasn't about money. You could say, well, they did it to destroy the those people who are self-employed and they wanted to just buy them out. If they wanted to do that, again, they own the monetary system. If these people wanted to buy out everybody, they could go up to a local restaurant. Let's say this local restaurant, the building, everything is worth 100 grand. You've got unlimited money. You say, right, I'll give you 150, 200 grand for this right now, cash. How many people are going to turn it down? It's not as simple as that for them. And it's not just about money. All right? It's not. The pro sports and the gambling. Stop blaming Vegas for crying out loud. Who's Vegas? It's Vegas flipping the scripts. What do you mean by it's the state? Well, Nevada's the state. What do you mean by Vegas are flipping the scripts? What are you talking about when you say that? It's Vegas, illusion. What's Vegas? What do you mean by it's Vegas? Well, you know what I mean. It's Vegas. I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear this. No one's flipping scripts at all. Nobody. Man doesn't have the power to flip the script of the universe. I feel like, honestly, somewhat what's playing out now has already been written to an extent, especially on the biggest stage. I think your everyday, day-to-day life, you have free will. But the stuff on the biggest stage, the major events, the wars, the 9/11s, the coronavirus, just all this stuff has already been written and couldn't have been stopped. It couldn't be stopped. And whatever's about to happen this year, ain't nobody stopping it at all. But I do believe there's people almost aware of the code and they know where the world's going. Again, in my illusion book, signs and symbols rule the world. Somewhat, yeah. They say symbolism will be their downfall. Again, who is they? I think Satan is technically. But yeah, signs and symbols, yeah. And then they created the English language to cast spells on people in the 16th century. But I think, honestly, everything major that happens in this world, it can't be stopped. So you'll say, people say Bin Laden and Al-Qaeda were behind 9/11. Other people say it was Central Intelligence Agency. Other people say it was the Jews. Other people say, no, a guy recently bought the building And he had insurance where he actually made more money from the insurance of 9/11 coming down than actually owning the building. He profited from it. Again, it's not about that. It came down 9/11 2001 because it had to, and it was written to. The whole stuff with Al-Qaeda and 9/11, man could definitely be behind that and creating that story somewhat. But whatever happens, in my opinion, take care, Gabriel. Much love. Thanks for everything. In my opinion, the Twin Towers were coming down 9/11 2001, whether you liked it or not. But then the mainstream can tell you this is how it came down. The mainstream are going to eventually tell you that sports are corrupt, and they're going to say it's all technology and it's money. They'll eventually tell you that very soon, I think. They're slowly disclosing all the technology and how it influences pro sports. The normies are even going, maybe it is a bit corrupt. Soon they're going to flat out tell you, but they won't tell you the true meaning behind it all. It's biblical scripture. They won't tell you that. They'll never tell you that. So they'll hide the Bible and the book of Revelation from you. They'll hide it from you. Because if you don't read it, you won't understand what's happening. So I go live every single day to tell you, to sync it, to tell you to go read those books. Because they ain't going to do it. The mainstream's not going to tell you to do it. They'll tell you to read Harry Potter, which is all about witchcraft. They'll tell you to read that. Or Hunger Games, which is all about famine and war. They'll have you read that. Prepare your brain for that. There's got to be something with where they, whoever it is, I think I've told you, this is God's code, which Satan's aware of and infiltrates. You can infiltrate a code just like a computer. And there's people, Satanists, demons, aware of the code. And I've told you they use it against humanity. They know where the world's going, and I think they can definitely infiltrate it, and they can lie. They can make lies up, which the media is every day, 99%. Half-truths or complete lies. So I do think there's people in this world that know how this universe operates and give you half-truths. I don't know if they have to. I don't know if God makes them and they're not even aware of it. Like they don't want to give away some of the truths, but God's like, no, I'm going to plant that seed, see what people do. Again, God can plant seeds, but he won't water it for you. But he'll plant the seed in your head, like I do. I plant seeds, but I ain't going to water it for you. Some people say Bin Laden and Obama are the same person, and if you research photos, they have a point. I think so. I think they are. I think that's the level of deception. I really do believe that is the case, that Obama was Osama bin Laden. They even told us, guys, bin Laden, who's from Afghanistan, actually is from Saudi Arabia, born the same place as the Saudi prince, Riyadh, like Riyadh Mahrez. They even said that your boy, Osama bin Laden, worked for the CIA or the FBI. So a guy from Saudi Arabia is working in the US, and then he manages to instigate 9/11. Even though he wasn't a pilot, he taught people how to fly. How? How can you instigate that operation and get hold of pilots to do it? And to get through US immigration? It's actually comical that the majority believe that 9/11 was what they told us. It shows a sign of a lost world, which this is right now, a lost world. Hopefully that will change. If there is some sort of a global awakening, I don't know. I believe in collective consciousness. And I think they're able, through the media, to program us and how we see the world. Media, education, celebrities, which connects to media. they plant these seeds so deep in our minds, and we just believe it. We believe lies, don't we? And we always have done. I did prior to my awakening. Or I just didn't care enough about the truth. I just didn't care enough to put any research into it. Now I do. Now I give my life to it. Have you seen the vids of remote control golf balls? Yep. Yeah, but they're giving that. No, they're telling you. They want you to believe that it's all technology. It's biblical. Nicole, if you saw my website, my codes that I do, it's incredibly biblical. So if they can convince you that it's technology determining the outcomes, they're fine with that. They're fine. Anything but God. Anything but God, they're fine with. So I told you, is it corruption because of money? Is it corruption with the technology? And is it the technology that influences Vegas? So it again comes back to money. Ain't about money. Why I do what I do ain't about money. Money makes the world go around, yes, by design. But in general, these rituals that are taking place daily, it ain't about money at all. Wouldn't you think that the coaches and players would be aware if they are being controlled, or they're under a different consciousness? It depends who's behind it all, bro, Dustin. It depends. I don't think they're aware. I don't think it's possible for all of these players to be actors, to play with the emotion that they play with daily, to do what they do daily, for it to be planned and for them to be consciously aware. I think the top stars know they work for Satan and they worship Satan and they're part of satanic cults, the top ones. I think they do sacrifices. I think they perform black magic. I think they're fully aware of that they are communicating with demons. I think once they're on the court, remember LeBron? I don't know if he still does it, but especially when he was at Cleveland, he did a satanic ritual before every game, and all the lights would shine on him. So he'd go like, and do all of that, and the crowd would go wild. That was him bringing the demon in, I think. I think that was a satanic ritual that he did that brought a demon within him. That's why they always call him a beast, LeBron, when he plays. Once he's on the court, does he know what's going on? No, because he's possessed. Just completely out of it. Is there something where once the lights are off, the crowd's gone, the energy is being harvested, where that demon leaves his body, and then LeBron is this somewhat well-spoken, articulate, reasonably nice guy, and that's who he thinks he is? Is there a possibility of that? Hard to believe, but there is. It all depends as well. There's this element that people tell me. I don't believe in it, but they tell me this. Demons are attracted to influential people. They're attracted to influential people. So if you're Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, where there's billions of Catholics around the world, he would be a good person to possess because he influences the world. Let me possess a US president. Let me possess the greatest basketball player of our generation, LeBron. Let me possess Brady, which is strange because he was 199th pick. LeBron was first round. Like if Brady was a first round pick, elite, at college, just unbelievable. Okay, you might think, all right, this demon's gone for him because he's going to draw a lot of energy. Brady was 199th pick. He said that he owes all his success to his wife, who's a witch, Giselle, ex-wife now. and that they do rituals, and she tells him whether he's going to win or not the Super Bowl. Brady's come out and said that he partakes in rituals for success and his wife's a witch. So he's come out and said that. That can't go under the rug. That's not comical or humor. He wasn't joking. It was a straight face. So that tells me Brady's partaking in black magic married to a man as well. Giselle's a man. Just look at the anatomy, the supermodel. All the supermodels are men. That's Victoria's Secret. They're all men. Just look at their anatomy. Not the fake tits or the pouty lips or the wigs. Look at their body. Look at their hips. Look at their ass. Look at them. They're men. 6'2" men. Most of them. So he's married to a man. Brady's come out and told everyone this, that, and the other. That he partakes in rituals to win Super Bowls. I don't know what more you want. That should be enough. That should be enough, but it's not. Unfortunately. So I think these demons enter people who do the most sickening, disgusting, disgraceful things, and they're against God. And they enter that vessel. And that's how I see it. The most successful, famous, influential people in the world, I believe, are high-ranked Satanists possessed by demons. Do they know that they're possessed by the demon? I don't know. I told you when LeBron's doing that satanic ritual right before the games that he used to do, was he aware this is going to bring the demon into me? And I'm going to just have another 40-point game here. He's still getting 40-point games at 38, guys. He's been in the NBA more than half of his life. Like, come on. 38, to be doing that when you're in the playoffs every year practically and going far. Never injured. LeBron never injured. Messi never injured. Ronaldo never injured. They don't get injured. Brady, when was the last time he was out long term? Or Djokovic. They're always there. They never seem to get injured. Demons don't get hurt. Michael Jordan never had a long-term injury. Do you think he left the NBA where he was the best player in the world to go play baseball just because his dad died and then he wanted to play baseball to honor his dad? You're the best NBA player in the world. And then he went back and won 3 championships. He left the NBA after winning, three-peating, and then he disappears to play baseball as a ritual to honestly mock him. And the numbers were all satanic. He comes back to the NBA, despite not playing basketball, basically degraded the sport, saying, I don't want to be here anymore. And then he three-peats again. Of course, with number 33, Scottie Pippen, 3-3. How can you do that? And he was in his 30s, I think. He was in his 30s. He came back in his 30s and three-peated. There's got to be demons involved, guys. Like, my eyes are hurting here. I probably shouldn't have gone live. So I'm really tired. But I think you're enjoying it. But I feel like I can't see right now. Let me turn that lamp off. I don't know if there's too many lights on. Let me just go through some of my books here. Yeah, 3 and 3, exactly. Michael Jordan won 6 out of 6 NBA finals. He got 6 out of 6 finals MVP. Played for Chicago Bulls, who were founded in 66. The NBA was founded June the 6th, 6-6. The Book of Revelation is the 66th book. connects to the beasts. A bull is a beast. So Jordan obviously had the 23 jersey. 2/3 is 66.6%. Remember, he hit that game-winning shot in Game 6 with 6.6 seconds left. Jordan, when he dunked, would stick his tongue out, which is the all-mocking devil tongue. Every time he dunked, his tongue was out. Same with Kobe. That Space Jam movie is telling you who Michael Jordan is. He's not a typical human. Watch Space Jam. Who else was in Space Jam? LeBron. Why they both wear 23? Space Jam in Gematria is 23. They're telling you. I've told you that in Space Jam, these little demons possess NBA players. They took over their body. And then they became these big beasts in Space Jam. And then they lost the powers and became these little demons again. They need the energy from humans or they're nothing. Just like a vampire needs our blood or they're nothing. So I've got Miley Cyrus likes to stick his tongue out. What, Miley Cyrus? Yeah. Miley Cyrus is always sticking the tongue out. Albert Einstein, who married his cousin, a bloke, Elsa, his most iconic photo is him sticking his tongue out. Porn stars, the most famous porn stars, female, always with the tongue out. So, yo, bro, I believe you're coding and stuff, just not the Jesus thing. I respect it. Oh, love, brother. It means a lot. It means a lot. The coding led me to God. It won't lead everyone to God because you can basically use this code for so many ways and there's different levels to coding. It led me to God. I didn't code to find God. People might now want to learn the code to find God because of my story. I didn't code to find God. I coded to win money. That's why I coded at the beginning, to win money. And I did. Then I got past that. I wasn't in love with the world anymore. So some of my books here say I'm a satanic fraud. So I've got the Divinity Code, which I find very interesting. Okay? Harvard professor Robert Langdon receives an urgent late-night phone call while on business in Paris. The elderly curator of the Louvre has been brutally murdered inside the museum. Alongside the body, police have found a series of battling codes. As Langdon and a gifted French cryptologist, Sophie Neveu, begin to sort through the bizarre riddles, they are stunned to find a trail that leads to the works of Leonardo da Vinci and suggests the answer to a mystery that stretches deep into the vaults of history. So this is about coding. This is about mystery. This is about Da Vinci, all things that intrigue me. This here, the Jesus mysteries. Was the original Jesus a pagan god? Really interesting, this. All right? Really interesting. Don't mean I agree with everything within it. What if for thousands of years before Christianity, pagans had also worshipped a son of God? We know all about Horus, the Egyptian sun god. What if this pagan savior was also born of a virgin on the 25th of December before 3 shepherds turned water into wine, died and resurrected at Easter, and offered his body and blood as a holy communion? What if these pagan myths had been rewritten as the gospel of Jesus Christ? What if there were absolutely no evidence for the existence of an historical Jesus? What if the earliest Christians knew that the Jesus story was a myth? What if the truth has been kept from us by the greatest cover-up in history? This one's basically calling out Jesus as a fictional character. So I'm open up to all sorts of knowledge, me. I'm open-minded. This one, Elevation, the divine power of the human body, a study of the book of Revelation. Amazing. And if anyone for a second thinks I'm promoting this because I'm getting paid, these are just my books. Ain't nobody telling me to do this. I'm just letting you know what I read. Because I almost have to like cover myself with everything I say these days. So the Bible book of Revelation, also known as the book of the Apocalypse, explains the true science of enlightenment, body, mind, and soul in a dramatic, fantastical, and epic parable, only 22 chapters long. Book of Revelation is only 22 chapters. All right, this is an unbelievable book, one of the best I've ever read. Wordplay, my boy Andreas, I helped him write this, but this is his pride and joy. All right, this guy is a really good coder, and this is his book. Look how thick it is. I inspired him with this book. He's wrote about me in the book. I've read it. It's a great book. It's called Wordplay. It shows you how we live in a coded reality. And he focuses on sports. Talks about, like, he codes Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, specific games, movies. This is great. Amazing book to read. This book here is called Selkirk, Laura Bueno, a local author. I used to coach both of her kids and taught one of them English. This is all about, basically, the modern day Robinson Crusoe. It's very interesting. Not something I would ever buy, but it was interesting. The Rapture of Canaan. This is amazing. All right. At the Church of Fire and Brimstone and God's Almighty Baptizing Wind, Grandpa Herman makes the rules for everyone, and everyone obeys or else. But even in this isolated community where it seems nearly everything is forbidden, temptation occasionally touches the congregation. Temptation will touch every single man. Every single man or woman walking this earth will give in to temptation. Whoever they think they are, they will. That's the reality. We live in a world of sin. It's everywhere. Armageddon. Armageddon, which is basically the end times. The cosmic battle of the ages of Armageddon. The Bilderberg group. You need to learn about these. Where they have all these meetings, secret societies, meeting up, often in Switzerland. Basically, those who are playing the role of God on earth. Basically, performing satanic rituals. So I've got these books that I read. I'm always open to reading. My friend Gabriel sent me an amazing book, which I'm going to start reading. Sent me it this morning, or I think it was this morning. So Bernie Mac, this knowledge led you to God. I think it's the greatest thing this knowledge can do. The greatest thing that's ever happened in my life is finding God. And I had an incredible life before that. Nothing will beat it. Nothing will ever beat it for me. My journey, nothing's ever going to come close to that feeling when I really, truly believed. The rush down my body, when I got shivers and was shaken. Nobody witnessed that but me. And I'll never forget that feeling. And it was the day before my Patreon got taken down. That's all you need to know. My Patreon got taken down the day after I had my connection with God, where my whole body, something happened to my whole body. Something entered my body. But my whole body was shivering and shaking in a beautiful way, like a buzz, like goosebumps. Like when you get goosebumps and you're excited, my whole body had them. And something entered out like that. Was it the Holy Spirit? Because since then, my level of coding and the stuff I talk about has gone like that. I'm getting chills now talking about it because that feeling will never be matched. That moment, and then the day after, my Patreon's gone. Bye-bye. On 26, 2 months and 6 days after my birthday, bye-bye, gone. I think actually that was God. I thought it was Satan. I thought it was the Jesuits. I think it's God. He wanted me to move on from what I was doing. He gave me a higher purpose. Again, you can literally go back to all my videos before the 20th of June. I wasn't talking about God really at all. I wasn't. After that, almost every video. Once you feel that Holy Spirit enter your body, there's no turning back. Has anybody in this chat right now had a similar experience before I go? Has anybody in the chat had the similar experience where you almost feel something entered your body and your whole worldview changed overnight? Overnight. You almost became a different person, but you also kept a lot of who you originally were. You didn't completely change. but the way you saw the world did, and you felt something enter your body where you're like, what just happened? Gasping for breath. Has anybody else had that? Please, no? Like, this is one thing I would love to sit down and speak to somebody about who's gone through it, like genuinely gone through it. Yes, you found peace. Yep, good, thanks. Because when you talk about, wow, look, there's a lot of us. If you talk about this stuff with somebody who's never gone through it, they think you're nuts. If you talk about knowledge or share without knowledge of it, they think you're nuts. I'll never forget that. So for me, it was the 25th of June, which is 256, which is 16 times 16. And my closest brother was born exactly 16 months after me. What just happened to my body? Guys, something just, what the heck? Did you see that? I might have to go. It's like I had a twitch when I was talking about my brother. His name's John, by the way, like John the Baptist. Obviously, my name's Adam, first man on earth. Adam and John. I'm surprised I don't have a sister called Eve at this point. It's pretty ridiculous. Wouldn't shock me. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you have a sister called Eve. What, Dad? Yeah, I forgot to tell you. Wouldn't shock me at this point. It's outrageous. No, but I wish I could experience it. Don't wish for it. I think when it comes to these amazing awakenings, you can't force it. Like, I don't force sports codes. I don't force my live streams. It's got to be organic. And I promise you, mate, I wasn't in the slightest looking for God. I wasn't looking for God. I wasn't attending church or speaking with believers of God. It happened. It happened when I found that book of Revelation. Read the first page. I couldn't believe how I felt. Couldn't believe it. I didn't go looking for God. I do believe in this world, when you go forcing things and you desperately want it, like, I really want to find God. Like, I know you might say, ask and you shall get, and all of that. I'm not sure about that. Can I ask you this before I go? Do you think that those who truly find God, has it already been written before I go? We don't know this. Was I meant to find God at age 36 on the 25th of June, 2022? Was that already written? Was it because I gave up my $300,000 house, my job, my wife for truth? But I didn't give it up for God, which is truth, but I didn't know that at the time. Was I rewarded by the universe for that? Has it already been determined for me to find God when I did? Why didn't I find God at 18 or 20 or 23? I know you can ask a million questions like this. Like, how much is actually written and predetermined scripture somewhat, and how much is like just your soul and your spirit? It can hurt your head. Sideman, I've got nothing but love for you. Thanks so much for that. You're one of the very best in my website for people who every comment brings me joy, or I learn from you. Free will determines fate. Okay, I like that. I just know I gave up so much when I didn't have to. I had the most cushy, comfortable life and gave it all up. All of it. And the work I've put in, man, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifice, genuine sacrifice of what I gave up. It's hard to comprehend unless you've gone through it. So I just don't know. I didn't learn Gematria to find God. I didn't care about finding God. No interest. But I did. Or did God find me? I don't know. I do sometimes go to bed thinking, asking myself too many questions. That's when I get headaches, not so much coding. So you got to be careful with the why, or the what. It's good to be curious and ask questions, but my mate Andy, I'll keep bringing him up because I was with him tonight. I said, Andy, why me? Why can I code this universe? Why? You knew me. You've known me for like 8 years. This wasn't who I was. I was just a football guy. Why have I been given this gift? And you know what he said to me? This was so good because he's one of the most, I would say, is he the smartest guy? No, he's up there. He said, you don't need to ask why. You just need to know that you have the gift. And he made me go, geez, that is so simple. You don't have to ask why. You just need to know that you have the gift. So when you say like, why is this guy a great singer? Why am I not this? Why am I not that? Why is this guy rich? Why am I not? Just know that this is the situation and deal with it. I have this gift. I don't need to know why I have it, who gave me it. I do believe it's the Holy Spirit. I don't really need to know why it happened on this specific day. It had to happen at some day if it was going to happen. So you have to ask questions, but you also have to just sometimes accept, or you will drive yourself insane. Yeah, maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I had too many distractions in my life with the matrix for this calling that I maybe already had but wasn't aware of it because I was too distracted and in love with the world. I will say when I was very young, my battery's going low. It's often a sign for me to leave. When I was very young, I always felt like I had a big purpose in life, but I thought it was to be a footballer. I always felt like I was not above people because that's really not a nice way of putting it. I always felt I had so much to give this world. I didn't ever feel like I was just going to have an average life. That's why I've lived in 3 countries. This is my ultimate calling. It wasn't to be a footballer, which I thought it was, and everyone thought it was. It wasn't. It was this right now. So many professional footballers, they have the short-term careers. You know what I mean? They influence people to an extent. But after that, most of them become depressed and fed up. Imagine having 15 years where your whole life's a buzz and you're idolized and you're somewhat of a nobody and you're not making any money anymore. People are not that bothered about seeing you. Knowledge, I'm just going to grow. Knowledge, wisdom, love, spirit, compassion, which is huge, which I lacked for many years, I would say. So I was so into myself. That's just going to grow with me. Finances, whatever, let's see how the financial system operates the next couple of years. I don't have to worry about that. I've never worried about money. I never will. Even if I don't have any, I won't worry about it. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm in a different realm at the moment with what I do and how I live my life to how I was living for 33, 34 years. So I've almost escaped the matrix. I don't think I could ever go back in it. I think I'd rather be broke and homeless than enter the matrix again and play along with the system. And that's where I stand. And I'm not joking whatsoever. Genuine sacrifice, yeah. Not physical, not murdering people. Gave up my job in a prestigious international school. Worked really hard to get there and be well paid. Gave up my $300,000+ house, ocean view, all of that. Beautiful wife, fancy car. Gave up professional sports, don't watch them. Gave up gambling, gave up friends. Got called insane by the majority of people that knew me. sacrificed my sleep for, I'd say, a year and a half. I was averaging 3 or 4 hours sleep or less. So yeah, I've made genuine sacrifice that most people will never make. I'm thankful, without sounding disrespectful, that I don't have any kids. So I don't think I would have done this. I don't think I would be able to be where I am right now if I had a child. I would be so focused on that child or children. So when I talk about sacrifice, please don't think it's ritual sacrifice. Nothing to do with that. I'm talking about genuine, what I've given up to be where I'm at now. So when people say, I want to be just like you, I want to gather the knowledge you have, I want your spirit, that people tell me, stop wanting to be me. Focus on you. And to get to where I got to, you have no idea what I gave up. That's why when people say you're just doing this to make money, I was highly successful financially before the illusion. How would I have a $300,000 house? Which I gave to my wife because I left her out of the blue because of this awakening. And we're almost best friends still. Says a lot about who I am. So you've got to understand why I at times get a tad animated when people say you're just in it for money. You can see that that's frustrating. And I am really, really getting better. I think my next level is this, to stay this calm. Whatever people throw at me, to stay this calm. And I'll get there. I'm working on it. There are certain things in life you have to work on. But I'm saying when you force stuff, when you're so desperate, I'm not desperate. I ain't desperate. Desperate to be at a point where I don't respond to critics. I'm not desperate for it. But I know it's probably one area that I can work on. And what can you do when someone's hating on you when you just take it and go, all right, good luck with you. Good luck with your life. They're done. They move on to somebody else because they want your energy. They ain't getting mine. More people are going to come for it because they know how sacred my energy is. They want to take it. They ain't getting my energy. But without being a footballer, without sport, could you code sport? Yeah. Yeah, you can code professional sports without being a talented athlete. I'm a talented athlete. Again, sounds arrogant. I was the best athlete at my school, my college was. I have knowledge of all these sports prior to discovering Gematria, especially football or soccer. All right, put me in a football quiz, just throw anything at me back in the day. Tell you about the Premier League, the Championship, League One, League Two, the Conference, Italian League, Serie A, of course, La Liga, Bundesliga. I could go so deep. And you can still code sports without liking sports or being a talented athlete if you understand the code. My World Cup book teaches you the code and what numbers to look out for and how to code. You don't need to understand football. My sister, who I love to bits, my sister, she has my World Cup book. She says it's incredible and she hates football. Hates football. She used to love watching me play. She was proud sister and all of that. Hates football. Hates sport, really. She's a really good pool player. Really good pool player, but she's not an athlete, my sister, at all. She's an artist and amazing cook, creative, shocking at sport. She loves my World Cup book. And she, just like my mum and dad, don't give out compliments for the sake of it. They don't. So when she told me that, I was like, geez, my sister loves my book and she hates football. Told me just how good that is. So I can't imagine bringing a child into this world and letting it believe all the lies. Yeah, that's up to you. I think you can have a real say in your kids' upbringing with how they see the world if you get them really young. So that's when you get them. That's why don't have your kids watch cartoons. I won't even put them through school. I know that's challenging. That is definitely dependent on your financial incoming. But if I had a child, especially now, obviously, with how I operate, with the finances I can make without being part of the system, my kid wouldn't go to school. I would be the kid's teacher. I'd give it free will. I would let it come to its own conclusions. But yeah, I knew from a young age I didn't want to be a dad, despite the fact that I'm a coach and a teacher and I'm great with kids. Never wanted to be a dad, and I always said it's because I was selfish. But I also knew if I had a kid, the kid would be here and I would be here. It was a weird one. I didn't want to have a kid because I knew it would basically go above me. The kid would always be above me. It's how I am. And I knew that. I knew that once I had a kid, my whole life would completely revolve around that kid, which is a beautiful thing, but it's also dangerous. And I'm a free spirit, hence living in 3 countries. I ain't much of a planner. I think when you have a kid, you've got to become more of a planner. You've got to think years ahead. Like your sleeping patterns all change. Your finances completely change. And I'm sure it's the most beautiful, incredible thing you can ever experience being a parent. I never wanted to be one. Ever. And I still don't. And it wasn't because I didn't like the world. It wasn't because I didn't want to be a dad. I think I would have actually liked it. But it was an innate feeling. And again, whether God didn't want it to happen because of where I am now, I've never had a child. I have no regrets at all. I'm even close to getting a vasectomy? I'm tempted. So I can't get anyone pregnant, but I don't like how concrete that would be. We all like to have a choice. And people who get the snip and they're like, oh, you never can have a kid now. Life changes. Something can happen that impacts your life out of nowhere. Like, geez, I actually want to be a dad now. What did I just do? So I don't know. Go day by day. If it happens, I'll deal with it like I deal with everything else. I was like that when I played higher level football, too distracted with becoming a good player. You become consumed with it, CeeLo. Football was my life. And it was probably the life of everyone else who was at Bradford City with me. They all thought they would make it pro. 2 of them did. They didn't have incredible careers, but they were League One, League Two, Championship. And it becomes your life. I just started, as I got older, I was sick of being the footballer. I couldn't be bothered with it. My whole thing was, Edders is the footballer. Like I had nothing else, no substance to me, but I was a talented footballer. Started to grind on me. I just like, I'm more than this. I'm more than this. Getting defined into one category just because I'm talented at it. So now, like even playing football, I ain't even that bothered about playing it to show people how good I am anymore. I've got past all of that. You know what I mean? So yeah. When do you think World War III will happen? This year. I don't have a date. I think the US is going to declare war or it's going to be involved this year. I'll tell you why. Maybe tomorrow. I've got to go, guys. Again, I talked about the NBA. I've now talked about my whole life. I've given you the books that I'm reading. I don't plan what I'm doing in these lives. Or I'll have a base to them, and then I'll just go off on one. When I was young, I questioned if space travel was a sin. Now I know why I question it. Yeah, beautiful. NASA is satanic. All it does is make people believe that God doesn't exist. All right? That's all NASA is. Countdown, T minus. NASA include a T, anagram of Satan. Satanists do everything in reverse. I've told you that's why they count down. There's no way they went to the moon. It's comical. but we believe it because we got told, and we don't care enough to research it, most of us. So it don't directly affect us, at least in our own head. So you go, oh, went to the moon. I don't know. If they did, they didn't. I don't care. Don't affect me. I'm past that. I want to know. Yeah, why have they lied on such a grand scale? What are they hiding? There's no way they went to the moon. It's almost comical. But we'll never be able to prove it. Sebastian, hey, what should I check out first on the membership? What feels right? My disclaimer, I would say. The website disclaimer, read it, figure out who I am, why I do what I do, what you're going to get for your $10. Read my recent codes. I would definitely watch that video that I just shared about the dark world of mega churches, just to show you, to see through all of that. What else should you go check out? Maybe watch my Hitler Walt Disney video that I just posted. If you sign up to that website today, you're going to see the code I'm going to do tomorrow for why I predict World War III is going to start this year. Not to scare you. Told you it's not to scare you why I do what I do. And I'll teach you why the calendar's a lie and how big the number 13 is. Tomorrow's interesting because it's 112 the date, and the Jesuits operate in 112 nations. So it should be pretty straightforward as to what's happening tomorrow. So look for big rituals tomorrow on 112. Catholicism equals 112. Mathematics is 112. The Jesuits operate in 112 nations. I expect something big to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow's date as well can be written 12-1, which is 121, which is 11 times 11. So I believe there'll be a lot of connections with 11, just like today with that Bucks game. Okay. They got their 11th road win, kept the Hawks on 11 home wins after taking 11-0 lead in the game. And then they win by 9. So we'll see. We'll see what goes on. I will also post at some point who I think is going to win the League Cup and the FA Cup. The League Cup I do late. I don't get into it at the beginning of it. I figure it out at the end. I think it's Man United, Newcastle, Southampton, and oh, come on, Adam. Nottingham Forest. I think I know who's going to take that. I think. So I'll post stuff like that soon. And you're going to learn a ton whether they win or not. And if you do bet, if you come to my website for betting, bet what you can afford. Don't get carried away with it. Don't get greedy with it. If you're not there to bet, fantastic. Even better. Okay. I was joking around about you watching the game earlier. Oh, no, you bro. I read it late, but I'd gone. I looked back. Yeah. Again, it's very hard with comments to sometimes get the gist of whether it's a joke or if you're having a dig or if you get me whilst I'm tired. So, yeah, when you said he's gone to watch the game when I was playing my Hitler with Disney video, I was literally stood up. I had my head against the wall with my eyes closed. I was like, I haven't heard this. I can't remember even doing that video. I was listening to it. I was like, geez, Adam, you knew a lot back then. And when you said I've gone to go watch the game, I don't know what game you're on about, and I don't even own a TV. So I just thought, here we go again. Somebody's making a scandalous remark about me with no substance, saying I'm watching TV when I don't own a TV. I thought, here we go again. But I know you're having banter because you seem to be a good guy. So I'm not going to apologize in the sense of, I'm really sorry that I did that. I thought you were genuinely having a dig at me. There's a person with a prediction that the Toronto Maple Leafs will trade Austin Matthews to the Edmonton Oilers in exchange for Connor McDavid. I'm always intrigued to read as to why, to be honest. I hear you, Adam. I was just wondering what you meant. No worries. All right. So, cheers, guys. Oh, put my pajamas on. I'm sure my phone's insane. I haven't checked it for the last 4.5 hours. I might just ignore it and deal with people tomorrow. What time is it? 11:10. Wow, it's 11:10 on 11:1. Lots of ones there, baby. Somebody's saying stay safe, brother. I'm wearing God's armor. I'm going to go when I'm supposed to go. I don't really worry about staying safe, to be honest. I won't let anybody rattle me to the point of scaring me. Nobody. People come at me. I want to help them, but they've got to help themselves, haven't they? So I might just have to just completely ignore people who come at me. Just ignore them. But I don't know. Got to be careful ignoring crazy people. They don't like it. I know you've expelled sports out of your essence. Not sports. Love sports. Professional sports have gone. I wish I didn't have to code them. I wish they didn't have such an impact on the world, which they do. And I know they do. As I told you, my most watched videos are about football, not about God. So I know it's getting through to people, the sports codes, but what's the worst part of my job? Having to code daily sports picks, despite how good I am and what they reveal. For me, it's the one stress, the only stress that I still have. Because I can put in so much work for it not to mean anything. More often than not, it does, and it's bang on. But I don't know, just imagine doing something, working hours on it, and then it's for nothing. And then people are going to critique it, even though you've done your best. It's the one thing that can be like, oh, I want more than this. I don't want to do this any longer. And I often say to myself, is there any way, will I grow even more without professional sports? Or do I need professional sports because they really do sync everything together? I do ask myself, do I need to keep doing this? If I lose half of my website, I don't care, because more people come for other reasons. Maybe I become an expert in astrology. People come for the astrology where there's literally next to no stress. Sports picks, people are gambling on them. I don't like gambling. If I somehow had content where I didn't ever talk about gambling or giving out picks, I really don't know what people could say about me. And I was just the guy who has this gift of knowledge, sharing it with the world and inspiring people. I might get to that point. I quit watching professional sports. I quit gambling on them when I was winning thousands. Will I quit coding them? It might be. It might happen. It might happen. We'll find out, won't we? There's no real reason for me to stop with my hit rate and what I'm revealing. But at what point, guys? Let's just say this right before I go, because what percent am I on? 4% for the 4 horsemen. How many more codes? Hey, how's it going, Noble Truth? How many more codes do I need to do perfectly to show people? I've done it in all sports. I've coded futures in 10 different ones. How many more do I have to keep doing to convince people? My main goal is for people to see through the illusion, not to increase the bank balance. I want to go to another level. It's who I am. If I get really good at something, I'm like, all right, I need to go on to something else now. It's how I've always been. So I'm kind of at that juncture with pro sports. I'm so good at it, but I want more. Is that limiting me? I don't know. I won't know until I give it up. Am I ready to give it up right now? No. As of now, no. We'll figure it out. I'm not going to overthink. I will keep doing what I'm doing. It's working for me. I'll do what the Holy Spirit tells me. And if it's not completely leading me one way, I'll be like, okay, hold your horses, baby. Hold your horses. You ain't ready yet. Like somebody said in the chat earlier, maybe you wasn't ready for this knowledge back then. So anyways, If all your work saves one person, helps them find God, then that's all that matters. Wow, Nicole. Yeah. If I have 1,000 haters a day, but I inspire one person to God, me inspiring that one person to God outweighs the 1,000 people hating me. Although it's never been, I've only had 2 people on my website ever criticize me heavily. 2 out of 600 plus overall that have signed up or whatever it's been. If I can lead that one person to God, despite hate from X amount of people, that one outweighs all the other people. I really, hand on my heart, believe that. So thank you for that, Nicole. I agree. How many people in their whole life have ever guided anyone to God? I've done it at this point to close to 50 that have told me that. Watching your works led me to God. Do you know how big that is? Forget about people saying, I won money off your pics. Good, fine. Telling me that my work and my knowledge has led them to God, you can't give me a bigger compliment. There's no bigger compliment you can give Adam Ivor Edwards than telling me that. Than anything. It brings me absolute joy when people said, you've led me to God. Every time I talk about God, something happens. Anyways, I'm off. 3% now. If all your work say, okay, see, I'm going to sleep. I'm just reading out the same comment. Sorry. All right. Take care. I'm leaving, guys. 2 hours, 6 minutes. That's when my Patreon got removed. 26. Thank you, guys. Take care. I'll try doing my World War III code tomorrow. Bye, guys.